Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Today I'm doing something a bit different. I'm reacting to some of my own Blender animations, actually some of my old animations. These are some of my personal favorites. It's the Carlsberg ad, the Pepsi ad, my new series Lost in the Waves, and my very first YouTube video, which was a car animation. I'll share why I made them, what I learned, and if I think they still hold up today. So let's just jump right into this video. Let's start out with the Pepsi ad. So I made this one because I wanted to try out product visualization. At the time I was super interested in getting into the advertising world. So I created this video to have something solid for my portfolio. And honestly, I also wanted to try pitching it to Pepsi. So let's watch it.
Max space, max taste, no sugar.
Well, I think it's awesome. I don't know how many Pepsi ads you've seen. They always kind of don't make sense. They're always like Pepsi Max to the max. Sometimes it's people at a party and you're watching the commercial and you'll be like, what is this commercial about? And then at the end, someone is drinking a Pepsi and it's to the max. So I think this one is pretty funny. It's in space, so it's kind of the max. Yeah, I think it's quite on brand. It has the max energy. I think maybe I could have done some more variation in the clips. It's just 3 clips that I've worked around with. Look, like from a work perspective, I think I got most out of very little material. It's really just 3 clips that I've cut in between and making some speed ramps and stuff like that. So for the effort I put into it, I think it's pretty good. I actually did pitch this commercial to Pepsi. They thought it was very interesting and they genuinely liked it, and I got a lot of great feedback. Unfortunately, they didn't want the commercial because it didn't fit into their plan. And that's a little quick tip. If you ever want to make a commercial before you have a client, like making it just because, then you have to make sure you have selected a company that isn't so big, because they have a huge marketing team and I guarantee you, they already have a plan for their commercials. So you either have to be really lucky or make something incredible. Otherwise, they're not going to use your commercial. Well, let's move on to the Carlsberg commercial. This is one of my absolute favorites. I spent so much time on this commercial. And again, this was about building up my portfolio and also challenging myself with a liquid simulation and other technical stuff to see if I could pull it off. So let's just watch it.
Carlsberg, for the king, probably.
For the king, probably. Well, I think this is actually one of my personal favorites. I really think I nailed it. It took a month from start to finish and I put a ton of work into this one. I also tried to pitch this one to Carlsberg, but again, no luck. Probably another case of aiming a little too high. But I'm super proud of the result. The lighting, the mood, the details. I feel like this was really a turning point in my learning curve. I think some of the things that could have been better is probably the hand animation. When I look at it again, it's just weird. Like this, yeah, it's a bit weird, but I think it's so fast that it doesn't really matter. Carlsberg is a Danish brand, and at this moment, Denmark has just gotten a new king, King Frederik. And so I thought this commercial was brilliant because they are kind of the royal beer in Denmark. So for the king, probably. It's also their slogan, probably. So I thought that was quite funny. And there's a lot of hints, like the flag falling. It's the Danish flag. And that's also how it's told that Denmark got their flag. It was under a battle, then the flag just fell from the sky. So I think there's a lot of symbolic pieces in this commercial. And the liquid sim isn't half bad. Like liquid sims in Blender is pretty difficult to get right. And I thought this one was pretty good. Also with the foam. And the foam is really just a separate layer. I made some foam with a texture, and then I did shape keys for the foam so that it went with the liquid. It was actually 2 separate objects, which I had to do because the foam with the liquid sim was just annoying. Probably the beginning didn't have to be that long. Maybe I could have cut some seconds. Like making commercials, every second matters. So if you're just wasting time, it's money because it's expensive to do ad campaigns. So you really just want to get to the point. But I actually think it's a pretty good storytelling. So I'm pretty happy with this one. Let's move on to Lost in the Waves, which is my new series. And if you haven't watched it, go check it out. I spent even longer on this series. And this was definitely the most demanding project. It's also the newest project in my portfolio. I think the beginning turned out really well. Toward the end, I could tell that I was getting tired and maybe a bit pressed of time, because I really wanted to finish it. And I think the animation isn't as sharp as I would have liked. I've also gotten some comments on that you guys think the animation is a bit sloppy some places. And I gotta be honest with you, I totally agree. It's hard to give 100% to every shot when you know that there's still so much work ahead of you. I could have easily spent 30 days more on it, but if I had done that, I would have probably burned out, to be honest. All in all, this was really a valuable project. I learned a lot, and I will highly recommend trying something similar. This is where you really grow. When things feel impossible, you always find a way to find creative solutions. Probably don't start this big, make a small project, but really try to make projects of your own. Even though they suck, don't worry about it, post it. It's awesome to follow your own progress. And that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna watch my very first video on YouTube, which was a car animation. And actually I did this car animation because one of my friends needed to see my portfolio. And at that time I didn't have a portfolio. So I said, can I upload a video to YouTube? And so I uploaded this car animation, and then people on YouTube just really liked it. I had no plans of becoming a YouTuber at that point, but a lot of people just thought, hey, this is awesome, man, you should do videos. And I was like, really? You want me to teach you how to do this? I was really surprised. So here is my very first video on YouTube. And this is the reason I started all this, so let's just watch it. Oh my god. And then there's behind the scenes. We don't want to watch that right now. So, I've learned so much since then. Oh my god. So, there's a lot that is kind of a mess. I think like the ground, it's a really basic texture with some displacement. I think the camera shake is way too much, probably to cover up the fact that I didn't have a great eye for detail back then. So, it's just to cover up the details, I think. I still love that this exists though. It's kind of a time capsule. I can always come back to this and see how far I've come. And this is just awesome. And it's funny because I put myself into the car and I just remember how excited I was about recording myself in a green screen and placing myself in the car. Like, this was a big deal for me back then. So there you go, that was some of my projects. I hope you enjoyed this video. I thought it was really fun to look at some of my old projects. And I hope that this shows that you just have to keep going, and I promise you, you will grow and learn a lot about Blender and about animation or whatever you want to do with your life. Let me know in the comments if you like this kind of content. It was just a quick little video showcasing some of my work and why I made it. If you want me to break down anything or make a specific tutorial, let me know in the comments. Also, if you want anything other for my channel, let me know. I would love to make it. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.